We're so done with new year, new you. This year, it's more you on Bumble. More of you shamelessly sending playlists, especially that one filled with show tunes. More of you finding Geminis because you know you always like them. More of you dating with intention because you know what you want. And you know what? We love that for you. Someone else will too. Be more you this year and find them on Bumble.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Optimal Relationships Daily. Computers, Screen Time, and Kids. What You Need to Know by Dr. Jenny Brockis of drjennybrockis.com. Following on along the theme of technology and the brain, good, bad, or evil, this blog asks the question, is too much screen time bad for children's health? Pediatricians around the world in the US, UK, Canada, and Australia have expressed concern about the amount of time kids are now spending in front of a computer. The reason why is less to do with the content of what the children are watching, and more to do with the fact that with increased screen time, there is less time for other things, such as active play and sport. Being physically inactive is one of the biggest health risks, and yet many people appear unaware that sitting on their bottom is in many ways shortening our lifespan. Too many adults are sedentary, spending too many hours sitting. We sit to work, spending hours on our computer screens. We sit at home, perhaps being entertained by the TV or computer. We sit on our way to and from work, driving our cars. The incidence of cancer, heart disease, obesity, stroke, depression, and cognitive decline are all higher as a result of our lack of physical activity. This is relating to adult health. Think about the impact of lack of physical activity on our children. It is estimated that by the age of 7, an average child will have spent an entire year of 24 hours a day watching TV or looking at a computer or playing video games. This increases to 3 whole years by the time they reach adulthood at 18. By the age of 80, this is equivalent to 17.6 years. Dr. Sigmund reports that an average 10-year-old in the UK will have regular access to an average of 5 different screens at home. The family TV, perhaps their one TV in their bedroom, a Nintendo, a PlayStation, smartphone, laptop, or iPad. The current recommendation is that children under the age of 2 should not spend any time watching screens because of the adverse effect on brain development and attention spans. Yet, in the US, 1 in 3 American infants have a TV in their bedroom, and around 50% of all infants watch TV or DVDs for almost 2 hours a day. It is also recommended that children under the age of 5 need to be encouraged to be as physically active as possible, being on the go and mobile for at least 3 hours a day. Screen time can easily be used as entertainment and a technological babysitter, which is fine, so long as it is not overused, which is what concerns the experts. Childhood obesity is a growing problem, with 1 in 4 Australian children between the age of 5 and 17 now being diagnosed as being overweight, 17%, or obese, 8%. Watching TV or playing video games means more time is being spent inactive. And during that time, more mindless eating, snacking, and exposure to adverts for junk food occurs. What do I mean by mindless eating? Basically, this is eating because the food is there, rather than because of hunger. A bowl of crisps, a packet of Pringles, popcorn, if placed in front of us, we will tend to eat it anyway. Brian Wansink has done extensive research on this, which has shown this to be the case. And the bigger the bowl, the more we consume. Snacking is often the same issue. How many times have you observed that when families are out together, perhaps going to a show or the movies, or even shopping, there is a tendency to buy snacks, which for the kids may equate to hot chips. Fast food is produced because it is tasty, available, cheap, and instantly rewards our need to put something into our mouth. So, if you are a parent, it may be time to consider how much screen time your kids are getting and their level of daily activity. Try monitoring it over a week. And remember, If your kids are not getting enough activity, they are at risk of future chronic ill health as adults. Find that time to ensure that they are active in different ways. Not all children are naturally sporty. It's of course a lot easier if they are. Tips to increase your child's physical activity. Number 1. Limit screen time to an agreed number of hours per day. Remember, under the age of 2, this means preferably no screen time at all. Over the age of 3, try to limit it to 1 hour per day. Number 2. Encourage interactive play with other children. Building cubby houses, playing pirates, using make-believe and imagination stimulates thinking, problem-solving, and innovation. Number 3. Be a role model. A child who sees that mom and dad are active, such as going to the gym, playing tennis, cycling, walking, swimming, etc., are more likely to be willing to give it a go. Number 4. Expose your child to different types of activity and encourage them to participate. Vacation swimming lessons will teach us a valuable life skill and may engender a love for water sport, water polo, swimming, even underwater hockey. Many little girls love horses, and whilst it may not be practical or financial to indulge their wish for a pony, maybe a few lessons would suffice. Number 5. Undertake activities as a family, which require physical activity even if it is not considered an exercise. Perhaps going out cycling, going to one of the local or national parks for a walk, playing backyard cricket, frisbee, or a treasure hunt. Even gardening. Teaching your child how to grow their own veggies will get them outside and interested in their external environment. Children who are more active are less likely to be overweight, be happier, perform better at school, be more resilient to life's challenges, and healthier. As parents, isn't it true that we want the best for our kids, for them to be happy and healthy? Providing them the opportunity to be physically active is one of the greatest gifts we can give our children to help them achieve that. You just listened to the post titled, Computers, Screen Time, and Kids, What You Need to Know, by Dr. Jenny Brockis of drjennybrockis.com.
Imagine what's possible when learning doesn't get in the way of life. At Capella University, our game-changing FlexPath learning format lets you set your own deadline so you can learn at a time and pace that works for you. It's an education you can tailor to your schedule. That means you don't have to put your life on hold to pursue your professional goals. Instead, enjoy learning your way and earn your degree without missing a beat. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
The PC gave us computing power at home, the internet connected us, and mobile let us do it pretty much anywhere. Now generative AI lets us communicate with technology in our own language using our own senses. But figuring it all out when you're living through it is a totally different story. Welcome to Leading the Shift, a new podcast from Microsoft Azure. I'm your host, Susan Ettlinger. In each episode, leaders will share what they're learning to help you navigate all this change with confidence. Please join us. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Great post from Dr. Jenny today. Really important information to apply both to our children and to ourselves. I know I'm always working on this stuff. You know, an interesting component to all of this that we have to consider at some point is the necessity of screens, though. So many jobs and activities or pursuits of any kind require a screen now. Because technology has been so popularized and saved us time on so many things, much of the world no longer operates without it. It'd be impractical not to from a lot of standpoints. So with that being said, introducing kids to many of the ways that we can combine activity with technology at a young age can go a long way for normalizing the idea of finding time and space to be active as much as possible. Doing adult work or schoolwork from a standing desk or a balance ball goes a really long way. I used to love studying from a Stairmaster too. That was my thing in college. There are a lot of ways to integrate the inactive with the active for when removing technology altogether becomes a very difficult option. And though this integration might not be commonplace now, we can help cultivate that for the next generation. So, thanks again to Dr. Jenny for a wonderful and really important read. Certainly the growth of technology is something we need to manage and keep up with, whether or not we're parents. And I personally can't think of many topics more important to read about given the time. But it's time to get out of here for now, everyone. Have a great rest of your Friday, folks. I will see you tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.